Okay, so you're thinking about becoming an Airbnb host.
It's definitely a popular idea these days.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to turn their extra space into a little money-making machine?
Right. But
I have to admit,
I was just going to say.
it can be a little overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
All the information out there about Airbnb hosting.
Totally.
I mean, where do you even start?
Yeah, and there's like so much conflicting information online. It's like, who do you trust?
Right. That's why we're doing this deep dive today.
Yep.
We're going to break down this awesome guide from Hospitable. It's called How to Start an Airbnb Business. Questions answered.
It's a good one.
It is. It's really comprehensive, but we're going to pull out like the most essential steps and insights just to give you a clear roadmap.
A good place to start.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can make some, informed decisions about whether this is right for you.
All right. So the first thing that really jumped out at me from the guide was the emphasis on choosing the right property. And it's not just about finding a place that you love.
Right. No, absolutely not.
It's got to have good earning potential.
Well, it's all about the numbers.
The data.
Yes, data-driven decisions.
So before you fall in love with like a charming beach bungalow or a cozy mountain cabin, you need to ask yourself, will this property actually attract guests?
In this market.
Exactly. What kind of occupancy rates can you expect?
And what are the average daily rates?
For similar properties in the area.
Yep.
So no more emotional real estate decisions, right?
Yep.
It's all about the data.
It's all about those numbers.
Thankfully, there's some pretty cool tools out there that can help you with this.
There are.
Like, have you heard of AirDNA?
Oh, yeah. AirDNA is great.
What about Raboo?
Raboo, yep.
Airbnb.
Airbnb, all good options.
They give you all those nitty-gritty details about occupancy rates, average daily rates, even revenue projections. Super helpful, right?
Really is.
I think those are must-haves for any aspiring host.
I would agree with that.
But even with the perfect property, there's the whole legal side of things to consider.
Right.
And I have a feeling that's where things can get a little...
Oh, for sure.
Tricky.
Absolutely.
So the legal landscape for short-term rentals is...
Oh, it's a mess.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's like a patchwork quilt.
Okay.
Every city and town has their own set of rules and regulations.
Oh, wow.
And some places even have outright bans.
Wait, so some places just say no to Airbnb altogether?
Yeah, completely banned.
Wow.
While others might have really strict regulations about things like permits, licenses, how many days you can rent, whether you can host if you don't live on the property.
So it's really important to do your research
Essentially.
before you even think about listing your space.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine?
What?
Putting your heart and soul into creating this amazing Airbnb,
Right.
and then finding out it's not even legal to rent in your area.
Oh my gosh, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. It's not pretty.
So legal due diligence is...
It's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got the property, the legal stuff. Now let's talk about another potential stress point, the financial side.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about Airbnb fees here.
Right.
There's more to it than that.
Absolutely.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of, the potential income.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, hosting is a business.
It is.
And that means understanding all of the expenses involved.
Yes.
So what kind of things should we be thinking about?
Well, obviously there are the more kind of obvious things like cleaning supplies, fresh linens, all that stuff.
Right.
But you also need to think about the bigger picture things.
Like what?
Like routine maintenance. You're going to have leaky faucets, repainting walls, maybe even upgrading appliances.
Okay.
These are all part of being a responsible host.
So it's all about adopting that investment mindset.
Exactly.
You're not just renting out a room, you're creating an experience.
Yes, an experience.
Yeah. And that requires ongoing investment.
To maintain the quality and appeal.
Okay, so we've got the property, we've got the legal stuff, the financials.
Yep.
Now comes the fun part, right?
Yeah.
Transforming our place into an Airbnb-worthy haven.
That's where you can get creative.
Exactly. But before we go full-on interior design mode, we got to make sure we meet Airbnb's basic standards.
Oh, absolutely. Those are non-negotiable.
So what are we talking about here?
Really just the essentials, providing toilet paper, soap, clean linens, towels.
Basic necessities.
Making sure the space is safe, clean, functional.
Okay.
And being a responsive and communicative host.
I bet those are the hosts that end up with the less than stellar reviews.
Oh, for sure.
If they're not providing those basics.
The reviews are everything.
They're so important.
People rely on those.
Yeah, absolutely, to make their booking decisions.
And it all starts with getting those fundamentals right.
Okay, so Beyond the basics. I know another thing the Airbnb is known for is their
cancellation policy. Oh, yes.
which is pretty strict.
It is. I've heard horror stories. Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
What's the deal with that? Why is it so strict?
Well, Airbnb really prioritizes a reliable experience for guests.
Okay.
So cancellations, unless they're due to extenuating circumstances, are definitely frowned upon.
I see.
You know, I actually know this host who had a family emergency right before a guest was supposed to arrive.
Oh, no.
And they had to cancel last minute, and it really tanked their rating.
Wow.
It took them a long time to recover from that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So being prepared for the unexpected is key.
Absolutely.
And knowing that cancellation policy inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another potential pitfall.
What's that?
Slow communication.
Yeah, big no-no.
Guests expect quick responses?
They do, 24 hours max, sometimes even minutes.
Wow.
Especially if they're like in a bind or have an urgent question.
So maybe this isn't the best side hustle for those who like to go off the grid?
Probably not.
You know, for days at a time.
You're going to be connected.
You got to be reachable.
Yes.
Okay, so meeting those basic standards is step one.
It is.
But I'm guessing creating a truly guest-ready space goes beyond just checking off a list of essentials.
For sure.
So what are some of the mistakes that hosts make when they're prepping their space?
One of the biggest ones is clutter.
Clutter.
What might feel homey and lived into you can feel cramped and overwhelming to a guest.
Right, that makes sense.
Another mistake is neglecting those small details.
Like what kind of details?
Is the lighting adequate? Is there enough storage space? Are the outlets easily accessible?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those seemingly minor things can really impact a guest's experience.
Right, and of course, safety should always be a top priority.
Absolutely, non-negotiable.
So we're talking smoke alarms?
Yep.
Carbon monoxide detectors? A well-stocked first aid kit? Clear emergency exit plans. Okay, speaking of safety and convenience.
Yes.
I've noticed that a lot of Airbnb listings mention smart locks for self-check-in.
Oh, yeah.
Is that becoming like the standard?
It's definitely becoming more and more common.
Okay.
It provides a much more seamless and flexible check-in experience.
Right.
You know, guests don't have to coordinate key handoffs.
Right, they can arrive at their convenience.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've definitely had like my fair share of not so great self-check-in experiences.
Oh, no. What happened?
Oh, you know, like one time the lock code was wrong.
Ooh.
And I was stuck outside with my luggage at night.
Oh, that's the worst.
It was not fun.
No.
So yeah, I could definitely see the appeal of smart locks.
For sure.
From both sides.
Yeah. Makes things easier for everyone.
Okay, so we've prepped our space, met Airbnb's standards, prioritized safety and convenience.
All the important stuff.
Now it's time to create that killer listing.
Yes.
That's going to make our property stand out.
The fun part.
Right, but it's more than just snapping a few photos, right?
Oh, way more.
What's the secret?
Well, your listing is your property's online storefront.
Okay.
It's your first impression, and you want to make it count.
So what are the key ingredients?
High-quality photos are a must.
Okay, yeah.
But the listing description is just as important.
Really?
Yeah, it's your chance to tell your property's story.
Okay.
Highlight its unique features.
Right.
Create an emotional connection with potential guests.
So it's like marketing.
It is, exactly.
For our very own mini hotel.
Think about who your ideal guest is.
Okay.
And tailor your description to appeal to them.
I see.
So if you're targeting families, highlight those kid-friendly amenities.
Okay.
Nearby attractions.
Makes sense.
If you're going for a luxury vibe, showcase those high-end features.
Right.
Maybe mention a concierge service.
Okay. Photos, description, targeted marketing.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to nail?
Don't underestimate the power of clear and concise house rules.
House rules.
Yeah.
So this isn't about being like a dictator.
No, not at all.
It's about setting those expectations from the get-go.
Exactly, and preventing potential misunderstandings.
Right, like are pets allowed?
Yep.
Is smoking permitted? What are the quiet hours?
All of that.
Just spelling it all out up front.
Makes for a smoother experience for everyone.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like a seasoned Airbnb pro already.
You're getting there.
We've covered choosing the right property, navigating the legal jungle,
the fun stuff,
understanding the financial realities, prepping our space, and crafting an enticing listing.
You're ready to go.
But now...
Now what?
The real adventure begins.
It does.
When you start hosting.
That's when things get exciting.
I know. I can't wait to dive into the actual management of our Airbnb empire.
We'll get to that.
but I think my brain needs a little break
Probably a good idea.
to process all of this amazing information.
We've covered a lot.
We have, so let's take a breather.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and tackle all the nitty-gritty
All the details.
of managing your Airbnb listing like a pro.
Sounds good to me.
All right, I'm going to grab a snack, be right back.
Me too.
All right, I'm back and fueled up, ready to tackle this whole Airbnb management thing.
That's the spirit.
So we've got our property prepped, our listings looking amazing, the bookings are hopefully rolling in.
Fingers crossed.
What now?
Now, the real work begins.
Uh-oh.
But it's exciting stuff.
Okay, good, because I'm a little nervous, I have to admit.
That's understandable. It can feel a bit overwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, where do we even start?
Well, one of the first things you'll want to think about is cleaning.
Cleaning.
Yeah, specifically professional cleaning.
Professional cleaning.
Yeah.
Is that really necessary? I mean, couldn't I just clean the place myself?
You could, of course, especially when you're just starting out.
Right.
But think about it from a guest's perspective.
Okay.
They've just arrived, maybe after a long flight, they're tired, maybe a little stressed, and they walk into your Airbnb.
Yeah.
And it's sparkling clean, fresh smelling, everything's perfect.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right. It just instantly elevates the whole experience.
It does, yeah.
So it's an investment worth considering.
Okay, I see your point.
Plus, as your bookings increase, professional cleaners can save you so much time and energy.
Okay, that makes sense.
They're efficient, they know all the best techniques, and they can really help ensure that your property is always meeting those high Airbnb standards.
Okay, consistency is key.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to those guest reviews.
Those reviews are everything.
They really are. They're your reputation as a host.
And speaking of consistency, you know what else I think is important?
What's that?
A good cleaning checklist.
Oh, absolutely. A must-have.
Just to make sure everything is covered, no detail is overlooked.
Gives you peace of mind.
Okay, so we've got professional cleaners and checklists sorted.
Check and check.
What's next on our Airbnb management to-do list?
Communication.
Communication, okay.
This is where you really get to shine as a host. Quick, friendly, and helpful communication can make all the difference in a guest's experience.
I agree.
Remember, you're not just providing a place to stay.
Right.
You're offering a personalized experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So respond to messages promptly.
Okay.
Be proactive. Offer helpful tips and recommendations about the local area.
So like a local expert?
Exactly. Make them feel welcome and cared for.
Okay, so quick responses, friendly tone.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we do to make our guests happy?
Remember all those expenses we talked about earlier, like routine maintenance?
Yeah.
Well, this is where that investment really pays off.
Okay, how so?
Being proactive about maintenance can prevent small issues from turning into big problems.
Right, like a leaky faucet.
Exactly. Ignoring a small leak could lead to water damage.
Wow, okay, I see your point.
So it's best to stay on top of those things.
So what are your top tips for staying on top of maintenance?
Well, creating a schedule for routine checks and maintenance tasks is really helpful.
Okay, a schedule.
Yes, like inspect your property regularly. Don't put off fixing those small things.
Right, even if they seem minor.
Exactly, because they can quickly turn into major headaches if you ignore them.
Makes sense.
It'll not only save you money in the long run,
right,
but it will also keep your guests happy.
And those positive reviews coming in. You know, speaking of maintenance, I had this funny thing happen recently.
Oh, no. What happened?
It wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny now.
Okay.
I was doing laundry, and my clothes just weren't drying. And they were starting to smell not so fresh.
Oh, no.
Turns out I had completely forgotten to clean the dryer vent.
The dryer vent, oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's my little maintenance tip for everyone.
Good reminder, everyone, clean those dryer vents.
Seriously, it makes a difference.
It does.
Okay, so we've got professional cleaning, communication, and maintenance under control.
We're doing good.
Now, imagine this.
Okay.
We've been hosting for a while. We've got a system down. The reviews are amazing. The bookings are coming in like crazy.
Feels like a dream.
What's next? How do we level up?
That's a great question, and it's something that a lot of hosts start thinking about as their business grows.
Okay.
Have you ever considered creating your own direct booking website?
My own website?
Yeah.
Well, why would I need that when I'm already on Airbnb?
It's a good question.
Seems like a lot of extra work.
It can be, but there are some real benefits to having your own website.
Like what?
Well, for one, it gives you more control.
Control, okay.
You set the rules, you control the branding.
Right.
And you're not subject to Airbnb's fees or their algorithm changes.
Well, more freedom and flexibility.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Plus, you can potentially save money on those Airbnb fees.
Oh, that's a good point, especially if my business is growing.
Right. It can really eat into your profits over time.
And what about building my own brand?
That's another huge benefit.
Okay.
With your own website, you can really establish a unique identity for your Airbnb business.
So it's not just about saving money, it's about building something of my own.
Exactly. You're creating a brand, not just a listing.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
It's like taking your Airbnb business to the next level.
It's very entrepreneurial.
It is.
But isn't creating a website, like, super technical?
It can be, but there are services out there that make it much easier.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Hospitable.
Hospitable again.
I know, right? They're everywhere.
They do seem to have a solution for everything.
They offer a service called Hospitable Direct, which can help you build a beautiful website without any coding skills.
Hospitable Direct. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
You should. It's worth exploring.
So we've got our own website.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we should be thinking about in terms of, like, leveling up?
Once you have your website set up,
Yeah.
you might want to consider listing your property on other platforms like Google Vacation Rentals.
Google Vacation Rentals, that's a thing. I had no idea.
It's a way to get your listings in front of even more potential guests.
Okay, so diversify our booking sources.
Exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's good advice.
It is.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Professional cleaning, stellar communication, routine maintenance, and now leveling up with our own website and exploring other booking platforms.
You're well on your way to becoming an Airbnb superstar.
I hope so. But with all this talk about systems and strategies,
Yeah.
I think it's easy to forget that we're dealing with real people here.
That's a very important point.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Airbnb is about creating positive experiences for our guests.
It is, absolutely.
So while all these strategies are great, and they can help us build a more efficient and profitable business,
For sure.
we never want to lose sight of that human element.
The human connection.
Right, that's what makes Airbnb so special.
It is. You're connecting with people from all over the world, sharing your space, maybe even learning a thing or two from each other.
I'm starting to see why people get so hooked on this whole Airbnb thing.
It's more than just a business, it's a community.
Okay, so we've pretty much built an Airbnb starter kit from scratch.
We have.
But
what?
I have a feeling there's even more to learn, right?
Always more to learn.
What other insights await us in the final part of our deep dive?
Ah, the grand finale. We're going to delve into some even more advanced strategies.
Ooh, advanced strategies. I like the sound of that.
Things that can really help you streamline your operations,
Okay.
attract the right guests, and potentially even scale your business further.
Scale my business. Interesting.
We'll talk about automation,
Okay.
guest screening, building a team.
Wow, building a team.
It all starts to sound very official, doesn't it?
It does. Very exciting.
So, are you ready to take your Airbnb knowledge to the next level?
I am, but I think I need another snack break first.
Another snack break, all right.
All this Airbnb talk is making me hungry.
I know what you mean.
I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, I'm back for more Airbnb wisdom.
Refreshed and ready to go.
You know it. I'm excited to dive into these advanced strategies you were talking about.
All right, let's do it.
Let's talk automation.
Okay.
Because honestly, the idea of my Airbnb practically running itself,
Yeah.
pretty appealing.
It's a dream, right?
It is. It's like the ultimate hands-off business.
Well, not completely hands-off, but it can definitely make things a lot easier.
So how does it work? Are we talking like robots cleaning toilets and greeting guests at the door?
Not quite yet, although that would be pretty cool.
It would.
But think more along the lines of automated messaging.
Okay.
Scheduled cleaning services, maybe some smart home devices that can adjust the temperature,
Right.
or lighting for your guests.
So it's all about using technology to streamline the experience.
Exactly.
For both hosts and guests.
To make things more efficient, more seamless.
Okay, I like that. What kind of tools are out there to make this Airbnb automation magic happen?
There are a ton of options, and a lot of them actually integrate directly with Airbnb.
Oh, really?
For example, Hospitable, the platform we've been talking about.
Of course. Hospitable.
They offer a whole suite of automation features.
They do seem to have a solution for everything.
They really do. You can set up welcome messages that go out automatically when a guest books.
Okay.
Send reminders about check-in instructions.
Right.
Even answer frequently asked questions without you having to lift a finger.
Wow, so it's like having a virtual assistant.
In a way, yes.
That's amazing. I can already feel myself getting less stressed.
Less stress is always good.
It is. But even with all this automation,
Yeah.
I still want to make sure I'm attracting the right kind of guests to my Airbnb.
Absolutely. Guest screening is so important.
So what's the best way to, like, vet potential guests?
Well, Airbnb has some built-in features that can help.
Okay.
You can require things like verified IDs, reviews from other hosts.
So it's kind of like checking their references.
Exactly. You can see how they've behaved at other Airbnbs.
That's smart. So you can weed out any potential problem guests.
Before they even set foot in your property.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask some questions of your own, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what brings them to the area? Are they familiar with the house rules?
It's a chance to get a feel for them.
Right. Make sure they're a good fit.
Exactly. And set those expectations early on.
Okay. So we've got automation, guest screening. Any other secret weapons we can add to our arsenal?
Well, as your business grows and you start managing multiple properties.
Right, multiple properties, getting fancy.
You might want to think about building a team.
A team?
Yeah, to help you manage everything.
So, like, who would be on this dream team?
Well, think about the tasks that you find most time-consuming or challenging.
Okay.
Maybe it's cleaning, maintenance, communication, managing bookings.
Right, all the things.
You could hire professional cleaners, reliable handymen, even a virtual assistant to help with those administrative tasks.
So basically outsource all the things I don't want to do.
Exactly. Free up your time so you can focus on the bigger picture.
Okay, I like that it's like building my own Airbnb empire.
You got it.
But with all this talk about automation and teams and systems, it's easy to forget that Airbnb is really about people.
It is at its core.
We're creating experiences for our guests.
Memorable experiences, hopefully.
So while all of these strategies are super helpful for building a successful business,
for sure,
it's important to remember that human element.
The human connection.
Right. That's what makes Airbnb so special.
It really is. That personal touch can make all the difference.
Well said.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've talked about everything from choosing the right property to navigating the legal stuff, understanding the financials, prepping our space, crafting that killer listing, managing it all.
And even taking it to the next level with automation and team building.
Exactly. We pretty much covered it all.
Right? I think so. We've given our listeners a pretty comprehensive guide to the world of Airbnb hosting.
I hope so. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. It's been fun.
It has. So to all of you aspiring hosts out there, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the confidence to turn your Airbnb dreams into a reality.
It's definitely achievable with a little bit of planning and effort.
And remember, it's more than just a business. It's a chance to connect with people from all over the world.
Share your space, create those memorable experiences.
So get out there, start hosting, and who knows?
What?
Maybe we'll be staying at your Airbnb someday.
I would love that.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.